kind of following up on what we talked about last week, where Charlie Olives is making the great choice of trying to put Conor McGregor's name into the mix for the next title shot. Obviously, he won the title. He's now cemented himself as a legitimate lightweight champion of the world after submitting who a lot of people who perceive Dustin Poirier to be the best lightweight in the world. He taps him in the third round, and now he's calling out for the money fight. And we talked about this last week, Blake. Obviously, we think that's a great decision. That's a great financial decision, professional decision. Obviously, he's doing the right thing there. But Justin Gaethje is now coming out and threatening to throw dollies if he doesn't get a title shot. And Conor McGregor passes him up for that one. And also at the same time, Dana White is leaving the door wide open for the trilogy between Conor and Nate. So, do you think we're going to get what's expected and just get Gaethje versus Oliveira and Conor versus Nate? Or is UFC going to throw a monkey wrench into the plans?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just depends how soon Oliveira is going to be ready to fight, which you would think would be very soon. He came out relatively unscathed against Dustin.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
that's the first round, which was a 10-8.
Yeah,
Right.
but no, from what we could see, lasting injuries.
Oh yeah, no, he looks fine.
Me personally, I would like to see the Gaethje fight. I think Gaethje has, earned that fight and deserves it. Conor, he's always going to bring the eyeballs, right? So, like we were saying last week, can't fault Oliveira for going for that angle. But yeah, I'd rather see Conor fight somebody else that isn't the top right now. I want to see him get his confidence back a little bit if he can, because I mean, Nate still has a chance of going out there and sparking him again. He's done it once and damn near did it twice. So I'd rather see Conor take a fight that's not a title challenge. First fight back after a really freaking gruesome injury. That doesn't really make sense to me. Business wise, anything
winnable, right? Because he's won one fight in 3 years.
Yeah, I think Oliveira I think he'd be a sizable favorite against McGregor.
I think Oliveira would mess Conor McGregor up. I don't think that. I mean, you could say maybe the only way Conor McGregor would be able to win that fight is a first round knockout, because we've seen how susceptible Charles Oliveira is to taking damage in the first round. We saw in that Balls for the title fights. It was a 10-8 against Michael Chandler. It was a 10-8 against Dustin Poirier. But if he makes it out of the first, or at least improves his game in the first, Conor McGregor doesn't stand a chance in that fight.
No,
imagine if it gets to the ground too.
It's done.
If it gets to the ground, it's beyond over.
Yeah.
McGregor tapped to a neck crank against Khabib. He's going to be tapping to possibly a lot worse things against Charles Oliveira.
Yeah, but that was round 4. I mean, he's exhausted, so
Yeah.
I don't really fault him for that.
Fair enough. I do kind of think it's funny how you're talking a lot of trash, threatening people, throwing dollies, and then you tap. Still something that I think is funny. Or at least
you can look at it either
uncharacteristic.
way, It's just the way it goes. You're either going to look like a psychomaniac and win, or you're going to look like a psychomaniac sore loser. So, but he gets people talking. He gets the eyes watching. So, I think everyone thanks him for that.
It's a good way to put it. And also, I mean,
Especially if he's on your pay-per-view and you get pay-per-view points.
dude,
You're like, thank you, Conor. That's nice of you.
those pay-per-view points are like nothing else on the card. And the other thing kind of going to this is Conor McGregor's coach was talking about how he's probably going to be ready for a early summer return. I want to see Charles Oliveira in there before summer. In fact, I would love them. They're going. I think it's in March. They're going to be returning to Rio. Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje on the card makes a whole lot of sense. A whole lot of sense. And hell, put Gilbert Burns and Hamza Chimaev on there too. I'm cool with that.
Sounds good to me.
Right? I'd be watching. And also, just for fun, let's put Colby Covington on there too.
No, he couldn't go back there. He'd die. Probably banned from Brazil.
Dana would have to hire so much security just to keep Colby Covington safe.
Yeah, that would be awful.
Oh, that would be. Oh no, Cody. There's no way Colby ever returns to that country.